So this is all about exceeding expectations. I mean, at the end of the day, it's never crowded along the extra mile. Are you someone who consistently goes the extra mile and routinely over-delivers on your promise? It's rare these days, but it's a hallmark of high achievers. To know that you exceed expectations helps you stand above the crowd. Almost by force of habit, successful people simply do more. As a result, they experience not only greater financial rewards for their extra efforts, but also phenomenal transformation, becoming more self-confident, more self-reliant, and more influential with those around them. Seattle-based Delanos coffee roasters roasted coffee beans and distributed them to coffee retailers in almost 50 US states. Their mission statement was to help people make friends and have fun. The company had 6 core values that guide all their activities. They're so committed to these values that the entire 28 staff read the list in unison after every staff meeting. Number 2 on the list is provide an extra mile level of service, always giving the customer more than they expected. This means they treat every single one of their customers like they treat their best friends, someone would go the extra mile for. In 1997, one of those friends, Max Corti, who owned 4 grind coffee houses in Long Beach, California, was just an average customer. But Marty had big plans for the future. The founder and CEO of the coffee house, Dave Morris, wanted to help his friend fulfill his actual dreams. And at the time, Delanos shipped their beans by USP. But in 1997, USP actually went on strike, creating the threat to Marty's livelihood. However, to get Marty's beans, the lifeblood of his business from Seattle to Long Beach, so he needed these coffee beans. So Delanos considered the option of using a post office, but the company had heard in the grapevine that post office and FedEx were overworked because of the USP strike. Or UPS strike, USP, unique selling point. They didn't want to risk the beans arriving late. So Morris rented a trailer and drove this £800 coffee order to Marty's location 2 weeks in a row. David made the 17-hour drive from Seattle to Long Beach, delivered Marty's 1 week coffee supply, drove back, got more coffee, drove down the next week and delivered it again. That kind of commitment to go the extra mile literally was 2,320 miles round trip. It turned Marty into a loyal long-term customer. And what has that meant to Delanos? In just 6 years, Marty's 4 stores now grew to 150 store franchise with retail operations in 9 states. Marty's now Delanos' biggest customer. Going the extra mile actually paid off. As a result of going the extra mile for all these customers, Delanos has grown from a single £20 roaster to one 600 square foot room, roasting 200 pounds of coffee beans in a month in 1992, to a 45,000 square foot facility and 68 employees, delivering well over 3.2 million pounds of coffee beans a year, and the average annual sales of $10 million, and growth rate that is on track record to double every 3 years. And in 2011, Delanos was named Marco Coffee Roaster of the Year by Roast Magazine. But why would you want to go the extra mile? If you're willing to do more than you're paid to do, eventually you'll be paid more than you do. I'll read that again, and it's absolutely true. I followed it all the way through my career. If you're willing to do more than you're paid to do, eventually you will be paid more than you actually do. So what's the payoff for you? When you give more than you expect, then you're likely to receive more promotions, prizes, bonuses, extra benefits. You don't need to worry about your job security. You'll always be the first hired, and you'll always be the last fired. Your business will make you money and attract long life, loyal customers. You'll also find that you feel more satisfied at the end of each day and every day. But you have to start now for the rewards to begin appearing. So give something above and beyond what is actually expected. If you want to really excel at what you do, really become a howling success in business, school, or life, do more than it's required, always giving something extra, something that is not expected. A business that goes the extra mile earns the respect, loyalty, and referrals of its customers, If you're focused not only on your needs, you may think that giving more is unexpected, is unfair. Why should you give the extra effort without the compensation or recognition? You have to... That's so broke mentality. Why should you give the extra effort without compensation or recognition? Anybody that thinks like that doesn't get it. You have to trust that eventually it will get noticed and that you'll receive the compensation and recognition that you actually deserve. Eventually, as the old saying goes, the cream always rises to the top. So you and your company will too. You'll earn an impeccable reputation, and that is one of the most valuable assets you can ever have. Your honour and integrity will follow with you for the rest of your life. It's the only thing that you can give away and no one can take away from you. Here are a few more examples of giving more than expected. A client pays you for an oil painting and you frame it for him at no extra charge. You sell someone a car and you detail it and fill it up with gas before you deliver it to him. You sell someone a house, and when she moves in, she discovers a bottle of champagne and a gift certificate for $100 to the local gourmet restaurant. As an employee, you not only do all of your own work, but you also work on your day off when the other employees call in sick. I will do today what others will not, to achieve tomorrow what others cannot. It is a classic. What can you do right now that no one else is doing? It'll push you forward that wee extra bit every single day for 365 days of the year. You take on new responsibilities without demanding more pay. You offer to train in a new employee. You anticipate problems before they occur and prevent them. You see something that needs to be done and you act on without waiting to be asked. You can constantly look for, he always says it, Gary Vaynerchuk, give, and you will receive at some point in time. But you have to give and keep giving, but without the expectation of receiving. It will happen. The right people will attract towards you. What can you do to go the extra mile and give you more value for your boss, for your service to your clients, your customers, and more value to your students? One way is to surprise people with more than they actually expect. Jack Canfield knows a car dealer in Los Angeles who provides a free car wash for all his cars and customers every Sunday at his dealership. Nobody expects it, and everyone loves it. It gets him lots of referral business because everyone is always talking about how satisfied they are with his service. Even the Four Seasons always goes the extra mile. The name Four Seasons is synonymous with the knock out your socks off service. The hotel chain always goes the extra mile. If you ask for the directions of the hotel staffers, they'll never just tell you. They walk you there to the destination. They always treat everybody as if they are royalty. Dan Sullivan tells a story about a man who was talking to his daughter taking his daughter to San Francisco for the weekend, but realised that he didn't know how to braid her hair the special way her mother did. When he called the Four Seasons to see if there was a staff person who could help out, he was told that there was a woman on staff who was already assigned that job. Would you believe that? That's amazing. It was said it was something that management had anticipated that guests would always need, and the hotel had always had it covered. Now that's going the extra mile. Another hotel chain that was noted for its outstanding service was the Ritz Carlton. When Jack Canfield arrived at his room during his last stay at the Ritz Carlton in Chicago, there was a hot thermos chicken noodle soup waiting on the desk. It had a little sign on it that read, "Chicken soup for Jack Canfield's body." It was accompanied by a wonderful card from the manager saying how much he and his staff had enjoyed the chicken soup books that Jack had actually written. So Nordstrom goes the extra mile. Nordstrom is a chain of retail stores that is known for the extra mile. Nordstrom staff has always provided extraordinary service. Nordstrom salespeople have even been known to drop off merchandise to a customer on their way home from work. Nordstrom also has a policy they can return anything at any point in time. Does the policy get abused? Sure it does. But as a result of the policy, Nordstrom has an extraordinary reputation for quality of service. But it's part of the company's carefully guarded brand image. As a result, Nordstrom is extremely profitable. High margin business. That's always the way to be, never volume. Make a commitment to be world class like the Four Seasons, Ritz Carlton and Nordstrom by going the extra mile and exceeding expectations and starting today. And I'll see you tomorrow.